actually win some team fights in the late game.
And I really liked the breakdown from the space, because let's be real, it was really hard for us to keep track what was happening, because too much was happening.
Yeah.
But I keep going back to that fight in the jungle around 18 minutes, because I feel like BNK were on such great track to just snowball. And once you really get 3K gold behind or ahead with that composition, you can just steamroll through any fight, right? And they never really get to go back. They got to clean that up. And for DK, their early game was just straight up not good. A lot of their game ones in previous series, we've often actually talked about how different they look in that game versus the rest. Able to generally play a lot more controlled. They gave over 4 kills very early on. Wasn't until they really started finding some of those fights that they were able to turn it around a little bit. As we continue seeing a lot of Shiu Prio being paid here. I think Sion high on the list of picks that both top laners kind of want to go towards here. Maybe Renekton.
Yeah, they're considering right now if they want to ban Pantheon again. And a lot of discussion. It's going to be Taliyah, actually, so you would imagine that Pantheon has to be picked up here.
We have seen Pantheon kind of struggle. A lot of really rough games from many of our Pantheon players. Because as good as the pick is, if you don't snowball mid-game, it does end up feeling pretty lackluster. But the early and mid-game make up for it. There's obviously also always the ability to play to the side lanes until much deeper in the game. But every Pantheon game where he looks really broken is when he just pop off early and you dive side laner like 3-4 times and then they're out of the game. So Sion would be high on the prio list. Not necessarily what I'd want to see for Shiu. I think we've all been pretty outspoken that this guy's tank play is just fine and his carries are great. As Sion and Xin Zhao are very much tier list picks. So they do make sense. And then Claire's probably going to just go, what, like Renekton? But Xin Zhao into Pantheon, I'm never the biggest fan of. I feel like this pick is like perfectly fine, but it doesn't really excite us whatsoever.
Yeah, the blind Vlad, also not very exciting.
Of course, with Clapto, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe if it were a different top laner. Sion
times
picked here as Trundle, you know, unless they're going to play it in top or support. It's not going to be a threat here, as it looks like Lucian Braum for Diablo and Kellen, something they've gone back to many a time.
There it is again. This is what they used, if I remember correctly, in game 1 against KT as well. Looked super clean. Does mean that DK most likely is going to pick a mid laner here and then ban to kind of enable it. This would fill me with... I'm feeling very whelmed, leaning towards under. Victor, to me, just hasn't really felt that strong. That I feel
6.
That's a lot better. Now, the cool thing about the Ziggs here is that it is very much a flex pick. You can slam a support on 4 and keep unclear where he's going. It does mean that BNK is probably going to ban like Jace. What else? Jace Tristana. Because you do, of course, run the risk of this being flexed towards aiming, and then Showmaker picking up an 80 mid Fred. So it makes the draft really awkward, I think, here for BNK. So I do like this a lot.
Ziggs is just a really good pick.
Yeah.
It works in a lot of different situations. It does require a little bit of finesse, and you need to know what you're doing.
And build the right thing, max the right.
Build the right thing, yes. You know, we'll check in with Ox, but it's just it's a top pick nowadays, and I like the Leona ban. It's the most played here for Beryl, or I believe had the most wins on it at least.
He did, yeah.
And it's a favorite. He has a skin on it, a world skin.
So like that and Rakan maybe? Trying to think what we've often seen. If you still want to go engage support, but you are playing in the Braum, I think Rakan Xin Zhao is also good. So it wouldn't surprise me if they banned that one away as well. Poppy is another that I'm like double checking, because I feel like normally she's hit the ban list earlier at this point. Doesn't look to be the case.
Ahri ban, pretty interesting. Was an old comfort pick for Vikla, but it's not been the kind of stuff he's been playing nowadays.
It is like with Pantheon, I think, just it's so good, right? The Taliyah was already taken away earlier in the draft, but you can just kind of win a lot of games by abusing that point and click. It's going to be the Alistar instead. So Rakan and Rel are still open here. provide very different things. So is Poppy. That will make sense to me as well. I think Poppy is really good in the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Does have lockdown and a lot of upfront burst. You already have good front line as well with the Scion. So I do think that Poppy able to provide a lot of utility. This is better for the team fight, right? You provide a lot more ability to lock down multiple targets, which Ziggs does really enjoy. And it's yet another pick that Barrow has leaned on very heavily in his career.
Yeah, I think it's a good call. They have enough front line at this point. Do you really need the Poppy just for what is Pantheon at the moment? You do know that B&K will play aggressively, though, so
oh yeah,
should be more.
I go back again to something that we highlighted as the Clear Sante gets picked up, which is that the counter pick in mid was one of the biggest tools that B&K used in their previous series to beat DK. It's being denied again. You can obviously counter pick the Ziggs here, but I really do think that D+ is very happy to kind of swap it either way. So what is it going to be for Vikla here? Now he's the one playing Victor. And I'm Valdez. Victor Pantheon.
Victor Pantheon's really sad, and also it's not very good into Ziggs. So
guys, we need AD.
And you can be straight up counterpicked here.
Guys, we need AD. We're not.
Oh, they have shattered Sunder Sky Xinjiao.
Yes,
it's fine. Just play Vlad.
There's a Cassante on the enemy team.
Oh, okay. We're just playing Veigar. Okay. Little bit of spicy draft prep coming in here for this game.
I don't know if I could have hated an R5 Veigar more, because I love R5 Veigar. Okay, I'm a big fan.
But it's spicy and new Chronicler.
No, I'm a big fan. But like, what? You don't have AD damage. They have Cassante.
Sunder Sky Xinjiao should be good enough, right?
Not only that, but you reduce the value of your Ziggs because they're going to stack MR.
Yes.
And then that you can't play Veigar Ziggs.
You're right.
Unless you have like, if your top side is like Jason the Fury, I'm like, go off. Good luck. Go get. Oh my God, I know the fix. You have to go Lefella the Scion. You have to go Lefella. I'm not even joking.
Maybe you will.
No, I'm not memeing.
It is
like
you.
I'm not even.
I believe
I'm not even a little bit. I think otherwise your draft is just going to get boomed.
You know, normal Scion kind of gets boomed by Cassante as well. I'm not sure how Lethality Scion does in that matchup, but yeah, why not take it for a test run?
Yes, your qualification
here on stage. Well, you're creating a lot of room for the Ziggs with your event horizon. That's fun, right? Damage profile is not necessary. Let's get ready to jump on the riff for game number 2. Alrighty, game number 2.
Come on, show me that phase rush shield, please. Please. No!
Grasp. Unlucky. Veigar's pretty good into Victor.
Yeah.
I suppose that's why they selected it.
Yeah, you get the skill for free, right?
Yeah.
If he ever walks up late, you have really easy gank setup as well.
Poke potential's very high because you're creating a lot of room.
Yeah, and your comp is like, again, if they had a different top laner, I wouldn't be if this was the Ambessa game, I really wouldn't be as bothered. But I know she was going to be building full damage.
Really?
Sorry, full tank, no damage. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it doesn't end up mattering. Maybe Cassante won't buy 5 MR items every time.
Yeah, I foresee him doing that. And Vikla, you know, he's got a decent amount of damage on his team. He can build tanky and probably be fine.
I also don't like the Victor one bit. I think that you really wanted a mid laner here.
Well, they have one. It's Victor.
Yeah, well, I would appreciate it. I'm already tilted enough by these drafts.
If they had a mid laner.
I clearly was going for a pause for dramatic effect. If they had a mid laner that had like good follow-up on the Pantheon W or set up for a Pantheon W.
Okay. Trading Flash is here. It's going to be a win for B&K's bot lane.
I think if they get a bigger... I would have felt better about it if they got a better health trade. Aiming does still have access to the TP, right? So you have to be a little bit careful that you don't trade too much and then end up getting TP'd on and just being behind in tempo for the rest of the game. Showmaker is just going to be looking to stack. Hasn't played Veigar in quite a while, but we have obviously seen it from him before. This is also one of those games where if either Showmaker or Aiming end up building like double Roa, that just it's going to be really funny. Because then we get to see Ox talk about that on the space.
So the last player to play this was BDD into Showmaker. Very different matchup into Talia. We don't know what the jungler was, but you can imagine, you know, BDD definitely a Veigar enjoyer and has pulled it out many a time. But perhaps that wasn't the right game, and this was the perfect spot. Right, Chronicler?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, it could have been Tristana. That wasn't banned, right?
Wasn't banned, no. That was a little miss on the dash, but essentially just two tanks going head-to-head. Eventually, Cassante will make Sion's life hard, but not yet.
As Lucid, should be looking for top crab. As highlighted, Pantheon has already been struggling on this patch. Currently sitting on a pretty substantial loss streak. A lot of those games were also, they were not pretty. They really were very one-sided. I love this, though. This is a Raptor classic. Going for the early gank. There's no heal available, no flash on Aiming. Pantheon also has the ability with his Empower W to proc Bromstun immediately.
They don't fully clear the wave, and Kellen is tanking this one up all the way down. First blood goes to the Pantheon, and they deny a tiny little bit away from Aiming.
But that's so big, because the kill went over to Aiming, and he just gets the TP back.
Yeah.
And I think Barrel actually, if I saw it correctly, interrupting... Oh, if he can get the cancel, that'd be huge. Like, doesn't find it there. Okay, so he's going to be able to make his way back, but it's still really rough here for Diablo. I think he interrupted the Pantheon stun, which meant that Aiming didn't get... Because again, when you land the Empowered W, you get the autos, which means that you would instantly proc it. But I think Barrel actually interrupts him mid-dash there. And he still does damage, right? Like, they still get the kill into Aiming.
Yeah.
But given that how that played out, like, I think Callan makes the right call, actually, because I think that it's better for him to die there and Raptor still be in the play. But it means that it's a positive trade for DK, because now Aiming does actually have a tempo lead. He's going to now base with his chapter done, and he's going to be feeling great.
Well,
It's gonna be
no chapter done.
Actually, yeah, I thought it was gonna.
Bit of a trade up here in the top lane. Xiu in a lot of trouble.
Here's another cookie.
Is Sion. It's getting smacked down. There's the shield. And eventually, who am I kidding? Sion's never in trouble. I was just kind of hoping to make it true. As there's the sun down from Barrel. Vikla getting bullied just a little bit.
Yeah, Veigar doesn't have damage yet. I'm also seeing a Ruby Crystal in Showmaker's inventory.
Yes.
Just noticing.
Roa on the way.
It's
All right, well, level 6. Arcane Storm comes out, and the flash on through. Wanted to press that R button onto Vikla. Just going to trade flashes there.
I don't even think he would have died.
I think he needed another Q.
Yeah, I don't like, or another W hit. I don't think it would have actually died, but it's flash for flash, which I would say favors Vikla, actually. I think Victor has an easier time farming from a little bit of a distance, and the Pantheon ganks are so strong. Now, to offset that, Showmaker is playing Veigar into Pantheon, so he can just cage himself, and Raptor can't really interact with that. As now we have the swap still in place, but yeah, Sion, neither Sion or Cassante are really bothered, but I definitely think Sion is feeling better. He is not building damage, by the way, guys. I know.
No.
I sold you a lie.
Yeah.
I was dreaming of a rift where, you know, Bowsy would have been, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
It would have been great. It would have been fun. But if you get ahead early, then none of that really matters. Like the damage, lack of damage rather, I think isn't going to be the biggest of deals.
They'll figure it out.
You mean B&K?
B&K will figure it out and build MR.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm worried though.
Should be good.
I don't know if it will be fine.
It'll be fine. for, you know, one side. We'll see which side that is. Diablo kind of just farming under turret. Doesn't look like he's having a lot of fun down here. But gets the whole wave. He's not too far behind Aiming, who now has his chapter finished.
There we go. At least Aiming is not also going for a tanky build. That would have...
yeah, I think that really would not have been a good idea.
It wouldn't have been. But we're doing a lot of not good ideas already, Feldes. This is early game. Both teams realistically can look at this draft and go, we're playing for spikes, right? We don't really need to do that much very early on. For Diablo, I think you're going to be looking towards your first item spike when you get Essence Reaver. Level 6 being available for BNK is also good. Their ability to quickly take down a single target and collapse on side is really strong with Pantheon. But once DK is entrenched in a position into Ziggs, Veigar, like that sucks. Like that's not a good time. And I think they're too late. Like DK is entrenched. They really get to set up properly here.
Just trying to engage on a Vikla who does not have his flash. He's gonna get caged, and down he will go. First kill for the side of DK will come down to Lucid. Raptor getting on in there, not going to, well, he gets the one grub, but he's not going to get out of here, as that is a couple of kills going the way of Deepliskia.
2-0 Zinza. That's the solution to the future troubles, Feldes.
There you go.
As BNK, I was really worried about them trying to contest, and it just backfires immensely. I feel like with Pantheon in particular, you really need to get value out of his ultimate in the initial setup and find a big pick, but they don't really have that. DK, again, is already entrenched. I think you should have just played for sides here. As Vikla just walks up, doesn't have flash again because of the previous play, and just dies. And like, yeah, Clear gets the ultimate from, or the flash from Shield, that's nicely done. But Raptor takes a ton of damage very early on. And if BNK isn't starting a fight by like isolating one target, blowing them up, they're not going to win the fights. Like, they're not going to win the team fights without Pantheon there, who again, didn't really get to play the game. Victor was already taken down. And if you actually are just front to backing, I think DK's comp just kind of walks over you, and now Aiming is accelerated. Lucid is going to have an accelerated, is going to base now and going to pick up that Sundered Sky. I think DK are feeling good. Now we do know, again, that what's the line? Like, past success is no guarantee. Baby. Well, yeah, but past success is no guarantee for future success.
Something like that, yeah.
Which I think does apply to any Rise Group team, really.
Yeah, I mean, BNK had a lead in game 1. They did throw that lead.
Very good.
And it went back and forth.
Yes. This
DK eventually won. So maybe DK get the lead here, and then they throw that lead, and then BNK eventually win.
I'm also fairly certain that the win rate for DK in game 2 specifically is really low. I don't know what it is, but as a DK fan, I know it's low. For BNK though, I think it's also a good opportunity to kind of talk about the journey the team has had. I think the fact that they were able to, nice catch there, but I think Shield unfortunately is very tanky.
Yeah. I think you can still talk about the journey of BNK.
Because I really, even if they do end up losing this game, which I think by no means is a given, and they'll be down match points, they have been having such a crazy turnaround of the year. Because I remember thinking, like, at the beginning of the year that they were actually going to be really struggling, even going into like round 3 and 4. I think we saw particularly the solo laners really struggle, and the resurgence that Clear and Vikla have found as in comes the ultimate, and I keep getting distracted, and I really shouldn't. I should know.
Going back in, still Sion. It's actually a lot of damage. He's looking for something.
Doesn't have flash, and there's a turret, so
yeah.
Diablo, don't check that brush. Don't do it.
Did you say check that brush?
So,
all right, here we go. They're going to find Raptor over the top. The Ziggs bomb comes in, and Raptor, they're just going to turn on a Kellen instead and let Raptor go. Not sure about that, but either way, they get the surefire kill in the trade.
Should be the Dragon going over as well. That is a heavy investment, though. That's 2 flashes. But, yeah, so this is one thing we also need to talk about. What's the engage for BNK? Like, how do they actually start a fight? Again, into Ziggs and Veigar.
Yeah, engage Braum.
Maybe my waffling about damage profiles just turns out to be moot. It just doesn't matter at all.
XX Soul.
And I just looks, oh my god. And I just look silly, Valdez.
I mean, they do have a 3-0 Xin Zhao with Sunder Sky.
Okay, I know he's really good for 80 damage now, but let's be real. If we go full Rise group.
So Daniel Longs Harrison made a very good point in our group chat. He said DK are convinced that Lucid can do 47k damage again, so that they don't need any other AD.
Wait, I should have known that. You know, this is why I'm happy that I'm giving over the reins of the Lucid fan club to him, because he knows these things.
He knows.
Now,
yeah.
I didn't see the angle. That's on me.
I mean, Lucid was the guy, so
That one Xin Zhao game. He was.
He did, yeah.
For BNK though, I want to see them actually utilize the power of particularly the Freeman unit of the Pantheon, the Lucian, and the Braum. And that, I think, investing that early dive was a good call. It just didn't end up working out. That could have been a very different game. Say that Diablo gets that kill, and they start there rolling early. They take down aiming. He ends up going down. They can play through that, but I'm worried for BNK that after teams having seen more of how much attention they pay towards bots, even Bangi mentioned it in the pregame interview today, that teams have been able to anticipate a little bit about that, or anticipate that and be able to respond appropriately. Also, you know, the more I think about it, the Veigar angle is just like Diablo as well, playing Lucian and he dashes in and then he just gets caged and then he's just sad.
Yeah, just it's very hard for the Lucian to approach. You basically just have to try to culling them down and hope you do enough damage to maybe get the execution after the fact.
So we're playing for Herald in about a minute. But I find solace in the fact that this is Rise Group and there is no way that this is just a clean game to win. Like, it's just not going to happen. There's no shot.
That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. I do agree. Lucid is actually a raid boss. Diablo doesn't get to play the game. Really did not want to flash, but now he's got to get away from the redemption kill. This is already complete here for Beryl.
I swear, oh, Raptor, you might have to flash.
Yeah, he definitely will have to. I don't know if that's going to help him, though, as he might just die first. There's the R button press from Showmaker, and he is down. T plus Kia controlling everything around this early game.
So that's Flash and Barrier gone on Diablo. Beryl showcasing again that he is, in fact, the most aggressive redemption user we have. Healing isn't relevant, you know, he wants to max out the damage stats for that. For BNK though, the early dive didn't end up quite panning out, but just like we had the jungle fight in the previous one, for me here, that early Herald fight, I think they bit of more than they could chew in here. Kellen Diablo trying to fight a little bit for position, but like the rest of the team just isn't in a position. And yes, you can have your Pantheon ult in and Victor is on the flank, but you got to play that slower, and you definitely got to make sure that Diablo isn't the one that is threatening us. Yeah, you guys couldn't see the face Valdez made, but I don't know about that one. Raptor, that definitely, we knew they were there.
It's kind of like getting baited by the vision they have rather than playing safe around the vision they don't have, which is what they should be doing, especially after losing one. Engage Braum comes in. They're going to find Beryl. In goes the Pantheon. Gets in the cage, actually. Diablo and Kellen, though, zoned away, as eventually Beryl kind of fail flashes and will go down here. But Diablo pretty low. Let's see what will come of this fight now, as she was just gonna land that full Q as in goes the cage, and that Cassante not very safe here. Showmaker says nobody can get close to me. Raptor trying to frontline for the team. They will take down Lucid actually, but the bomb gets him on the backside. Vikla continuing to go here up against Showmaker, as eventually the Braum, or rather Raptor does bite the dust, and Showmaker actually gets the kill at the very end with the Q. Just takes him out, just like that.
And the Yordles reign supreme in this one, Valdez, as neither aiming nor Showmaker goes down in that fight. It's a mess, but I love the start of this fight for BNK. This is what you want, a segmented fight, an attempt at taking down some of the crucial members, but Showmaker doesn't go down. Beryl going down really doesn't matter that much. Very funny flash barrel. Do appreciate that. That's great stuff. But then here, I think that it makes sense that they want to go for this. But a great ultimate from Shiyu sets up the first kill, and then Vikla doesn't have that much damage. I think could have played more aggressive with his health bar, but with the bomb from aiming, there's just too much damage available here. He's heavily accelerated, and Showmaker again is getting maximum value out of the extra tankiness that he gets with that row up. And the game is I think, nigh unplayable here, barring a colossal throw from DK, and BNK, they're going to keep trying, but it's not working!
They're going in onto mines. I mean, Diablo trying to tank this one out, essentially. Lucid, though, caught out, and eventually does go down. Showmaker gets there a little bit too late.
Okay.
Not his fault, of course, but that's a kill over to the side of BNK.
Possible double dragon angle.
Yeah, I mean, getting this first Hextech Drake certainly makes their lives a lot easier, as DK are going to have a lot less pressure. Even though they have a 4,000 gold lead, if you're not building up the Drakes, up the objectives, you're giving a chance over to BNK to come back in this game.
Testing is really risky, yeah. I think DK also realizes that. Barrel doesn't have smite.
Gotta find Kellen, but actually it was a bait, and Clear just kind of misses. All right, there's the slow and the stun follow-up, and Showmaker is just dead. No flash for him, and it's a shutdown going over to Diablo.
There we go. There's my rice group. I knew it was coming. As too much damage gets thrown into Diablo, he ends up surviving. Lucid ends up going down. That is so much of their damage just gone immediately, of their consistent damage, I should say. As we take another look here, as they go in onto the Braum, but again, a lot of damage going into the Braum, and more importantly, Diablo doesn't actually die here. So they go in, he lives, Lucid overextends, doesn't have enough Sundered Sky procs to save his life, and Vikla arrives to the fight earlier than Showmaker. And then here, it starts off a little silly, because Claire tries to go for the Flash W, does not quite hit it, but they still get the slow. Showmaker ends up going down. Way too much damage available. That's a kill going over to Diablo. That's a lot of gold into that Lucian. And look at that. The gold lead, not quite where we need to. 1-1 Herald fight, Veldes. And things are right back where they should be. In perfect equilibrium.
Yeah.
This fight is really hard, though. There's 2 items done on almost every one of DK. And I don't think you can approach this Herald. So you got to be very careful, as aggressive Satchel from aiming, but doesn't really follow it up with much more damage.
It's fine if there's no engage on the enemy comp, right? You're not really being not really being threatened. And here comes Shiyu, the flash into the sun. Diablo just needs to get out of the fight right now, although Lucid is going so deep for this Lucian, and I think he just dies to Cassante instead. So Lucid seeing blood in the water, but now he only sees his own. Kind of unfortunate there. Some low health bars, though, on the side of BNK, so maybe DK can roll into something here.
It also means that they can't do the Herald. I kind of want to see how that happened, because I feel like the fight also moved away from him. Gonna have to do another checkup, but that might mean the Herald goes over. So starts off with a lot of damage. Diablo dashes in, so does Kellen, but the engage bomb does not hit the mark. And then Shiyu goes in onto the backline here. But what is the rest of DK doing? So they are keeping safe, because Raptor goes in on Showmaker, so Lucid ends up being overextended by himself, and that's going to be the Herald going over here to BNK. Smite is there. Now DK might look immediately for Otacon. That wouldn't surprise me.
It's pretty early, but, you know, might as well, I suppose. You know, Lucid was 3-0 in this game. Now he's 3-3. I feel like we've had this situation where these teams, these players, they get ahead and they feel like they're just invulnerable. And they just feel like they can do anything. Lucid, notwithstanding, he is going to start up the Otacon.
I think, yeah, they can definitely take this, though. I don't really think there's a great position here for BNK. And I wish that DK played a little bit more towards just playing. That's the most Diablo dash I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm like, tell that to BNK. They're going to make a position.
I just don't think you can approach here. Like, your engage just isn't good enough.
Well, what if you just force it?
With the Herald, let's go!
Yeah, just force it. And now you're, okay, well, your Pantheon is very far away from the Heralds, or the Otacon, rather, and Yeah, no, I have no idea. She was just gonna ult away, and they just get the Otacon for free.
You know that SpongeBob meme where like Squidward's in his house and he's looking at the people?
Yeah.
That was Raptor like looking like, no, my Otacon! They're taking it!
He could have just hit the right wall.
Yes.
And maybe he gets himself in a bad spot,
He's
but
Pantheon, you have E.
better than whatever this was.
Truly the risest of groups. As yeah, so we take a look here. The knockups are nice, but the zone control is insane. Meaning that the rest of the team can't really walk up until it's already too late. The fact that no one blocks Shiu there as well, because if you just get ahead of him, you at least get a kill for your efforts. Well, that's not the case. So that's now a lot of experience going towards DK. And Showmaker is about to hit the threshold as well on his ultimate. And now the gold leads are there, but BNK will always be fighting to the death. Third item is done for Diablo. That's a big power spike on the Lucian here. Drake's up in 15. And this time, it is BNK that has control of the area. And for DK, reclaiming is going to be slow and steady.
Yeah. They can just throw a bunch of stuff into the bush and threaten. As clear, yeah, he's getting that angle. The Event Horizon is down, and Lucian has to Crescent Guard already. And yes, Redemption comes down, but they just run away. Maybe a re-engage here, a re-contest.
Yeah, Lucid's going to try and heal. They're going to look for the fight here, I think. But Soulpoint's going to go over for to BNK.
Yeah, and they throw everything in that they possibly can outside of the smite, of course, so it just goes to BNK. And Claire's like, well, we could fight, but why? We don't really need to. We got the objective. And they have taken 2 Drakes down 4,000 gold in a row. So now they're looking for Shiu here. He does have his ult, so he just presses that. Little satchel in mid. And so DK are getting more gold on the map.
That they are. We're going to get back to the conversation, though, about my worries about the damage late game for DK. As I think we're already seeing some of it, where they have a lot of burst, but the consistent damage isn't that great, because you're lacking an AD carry as the fight comes through.
All right, they're just TPing in behind enemy lines.
Wait, and Raptor can ult in as well. Clear is on his way.
Raptor can for sure. BNK say, we want to fight, and we will have a fight. As there's the Event Horizon gonna...
Is that just it?
Zone them away.
So we just trade TP for TP and we leave?
Yeah. They're just really good at controlling space. But I feel like if BNK could start a fight, they should.
They want to. That's a risk.
All right, Culling's gonna come down once again. The stun gonna hit the Scion, but everything is thrown into Shiu. So that's not the target they were looking for, and immediately BNK are backing away.
We're just brawling in the river. Is Shiu okay? Like, he's really far up. Is he just dead?
You mean Clear?
Sorry, Clear.
Is, maybe. He is Cassante. And he's not quite going to time that correctly. As down he will go. Lucid does have to go into the Crescent Guard. But yeah, Clear not taking the correct path.
I'm 99% sure you can't actually, unless you are on the spot as it comes down, because you can't simultaneously be like being invulnerable to the stun while proccing the W, so you just end up dashing back into the wall.
He was just trying to time it, but...
Yeah, I think you just... For again, having played a good amount of Veigar, I think you just can't dash out of that unless you're on the cusp and have the W ready. But that's like, it's just a kill. It doesn't really change too much. I think BNK, I know the gold lead doesn't look great. I know they're down pedals and levels. I just got a feeling.
You got a feeling? Yeah.
Is this the tempo?
Is this tempo?
Can I read them? Or am I just...
You only understand how to read them as you're leaving, you know?
Yeah.
You only gain that power at the very end.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good character arc.
Yeah.
Next time, I gotta admit curses are real, and then it's just, that's a full wrap.
You should.
No.
I mean, okay, we're just dashing into melee range of the Scion. And that's gonna be the flash setup, but Diablo, who's gonna take the bomb to the face too, as there's the engage from the face, but he just dies. And now we have a flank coming in. Diablo in a lot of trouble. He's immediately going to start going the other way, but Flash comes in and you can't get away from the Xin Zhao. Clear, zoned away on the right side, and Raptor all by his lonesome is continuing to go in, gets the kill, as Sundered Sky, more OP than Sundered Sky in this case. And
Clear's going to get the execute again?
Yeah, he's just clearing the wave too.
Oh, I like that. No! I thought Showmaker was further away.
was.
He wasn't.
So did Clear.
Okay. Diablo, I have defended you many a time. This sequence of play, though... So he ults in. I think he's lucky, actually, that aiming knocks him out of the Cyan knockup. But he also, I think, walked back into a bomb.
He did, yeah.
And then...
It was all bait.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I thought so for a second, but unfortunately... We've talked a lot about the damage struggles for the DK comp. This is a good opportunity to talk about the damage struggles for the BNK comp. Because they have Victor, who isn't real yet, especially...
Banshee build second.
Banshees, which I actually think makes... Like, I think that this is one of those games where it makes sense. But also, so Victor doesn't do damage. And then you have Pantheon, who's just behind. And then you have Cassante. Doesn't have a second item yet. And then you have just Lucian, who just dashed into BNK, no!
What happened to Clear building 5 MR items, by the way?
Oh, I didn't want to talk about it because it makes me very mad. Yeah, I'm really...
It doesn't seem like he got the assignment correct, you know? He like asked his friend what the assignment was, but he gave him one from like last week.
I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay, yeah.
It's okay. BNK are just going to get sold. And then none of that other stuff matters. And they'll just slow DK down.
Will they?
Although I do think DK is definitely going to be looking for a flank here. And Shiyu has been really good on these engages on the Scion.
Yeah. Flank Scion.
The Raptor doesn't have flash, but he can go for the ultimate in. If Raptor steals this, they get Soul. That could be a win condition for BNK Valdez.
Yep, absolutely could be. We have TP coming in from the Victor. As potential stun here from the engaged Braum. Clear on the backside. Shiyu doing a good job of zoning everybody away. As Kellen is just dead. But a lot used into the Braum, I suppose, as the Sun is going to miss. It's knocked into the side by the Blast Cone. That's how I like to see it used. As Diablo now in a lot of trouble. Nowhere for him to go. And it is just an absolute slaughter in favor of D+ Kia. And they will take down this Dragon as well.
And that should be, maybe not the Nexus falling, but the end of the game. I think DK are about to go up 2-0 here. And yeah, they're just going to look to end. They have a lot of damage here towards structures with Ziggs. No one with wave clear is up anytime soon. There's pushing to end.
Well, we got 13 seconds on Cassante. That's going to be the first member that actually is able to try to do something. Kellen will have to somehow get in and try to block some shots onto the turrets, perhaps, but it doesn't look like there's enough time. Down he goes, and Clear is up. And all they got to do is hit that Nexus, and they have so much AP that they can. They're just going to get the kill. It's 2-0 to D+ Kia. 30 minutes for game 2.
D+ actually end up winning a game 2, perhaps the most surprising out of this series thus far. And with that kind of stalling we had in mid-game, I really did think that we were going to be going towards the petering out of the composition, itemization being on point, but none of that really came to fruition. And the early dive not going the way of BNK. That was thing number one. The second one was that Victor. It just really, I know I don't look at the damage number. I'm talking real
damage. I'm not.
I'm talking real damage. I'm talking relevant damage. And Showmaker, perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps it was a Veigar angle, because I do think a lot of what made BNK's game extremely hard was that they were playing 4 melee characters. Effectively, Lucian obviously is ranged, but let's be real. Diablo also didn't play it like a ranged character. The cages were just too much to deal with.
They get across the line, and it's 2-0 for D+ Kia. Looking very solid for them, as Ryu and the boys over here will have to figure it out. 2-0, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
끝날만해.
끝날 것 같은데?
야 나도 텔 찍고 갈게 이거.
나는 못 가?
아 와야 될 것 같아.
13초.
또 애매한가?
해보자.
봐봐.
얘네 소세지로 죽긴 했어. W만 좀 아껴봐.
바로 와야 돼. 해봐.
루시안 일단 불안 무시해.
오케이. 아 어차피 한 번 더 싸워도 이겨.
불안 무시해. 그냥 불안 무시하고 타워 쳐.
봐줄게.
타워. 아래 것까지 치자. 바로 시작 바로. 바로 할게.
내가 오늘 산테 막을게. 산테 북 있어 얘들아.
아 괜찮아.